Welcome to 140 by Talk to the Duck.dev. Today we'll talk about program control during debugging. The most basic aspect of debugging is hitting a breakpoint. Now what? Well, this is where debuggers let us control the flow to investigate how everything works in a controlled environment. Step over is the most basic form of control flow. We just let the code in the line execute, and then we can inspect the results in the variable pane. It's simple and easy. Step into goes into the method we invoke. Notice that if there is no method to go into, the step into will act like step over. When we finished looking at a method and don't care about the rest, we can step out. This executes the rest of the method and returns. Notice that if we have a breakpoint before the return, it would still stop at the breakpoint, as we see in this case. Continue just continues the execution of the project until the breakpoint is hit again. Pretty simple stuff. Run to cursor lets us skip lines that are uninteresting and reach code that matters. We can just set a breakpoint at that line and get the same effect, but this is sometimes more convenient. Force return lets us return immediately. Unlike step out, it returns from this point, skipping the rest of the method. We type in the return value and the rest of the code won't execute. This lets us change the control flow of the app. We can return different results or skip problematic code to see what happens next. But this gets better. We can actually move the current instruction pointer to a different position in the method. In IntelliJ, we need to install the Jump to Line plugin for this to work. We can drag the arrow on the left to bring execution to a new location. Saw a bug? Just drag the execution back and reproduce it. Skip over code that's failing, etc. These last two are pretty amazing, and I rarely see developers using them, which is a shame. Check out talktotheduck.dev and follow Debug Agent on Twitter to learn more. Thanks for watching.